We are live. This is the NBA Rundown. I don't even know why I put my headphones in, but okay. Uh, I'm here by myself, and we are ready to break down the NBA card. Quick review. First of all, I'm by myself, guys, so if you want to go crazy in the chat, I mean, today's the day you'll be able to work me up. Um, but I'm excited to be here. I felt like we did pretty good last night, except for one major whiff. Although, I mean, lately, the games we've been missing are not ones that I regret. That Pelican spot, it's been a smash spot all year. It just didn't happen last night. So, we lost 2 units on that play. That absolutely sucked. What really hurt me as well was leaving that Denver play on the board because I knew that was a great matchup. But I don't want to dwell on anything. Um, Shout out to the Kings beating the Lakers. That was fun. And you know, as a Kings fan, that's just like how I feel. You're gonna have to play the Lakers in a close game. They get a ton of calls, so you got to really beat them like that. And Domantas Sabonis, AD can't guard him. It's so crazy that Anthony Davis is one of the best defenders in the game today. Right? Like when he's at his best, he's a top 5 guy. He's up there with just the very best defenders in the league. And Sabonis just eats him alive. And you know where I really thought was impressed, and they said it after the game too, so it's not like some magic secret. But I was impressed with the offensive rebounding of Domantas Sabonis. I think that really changed the game there. And you know, I'm a big fan of Ski Prophet, and I'm sure if you guys watch this show, you're aware of him too. He mentioned how the Lakers just struggle with Fox because he's so fast, and they just don't have that perimeter athleticism. D'Angelo Russell's fine, but on the defensive end, I mean, it's weird how that's such a good matchup for us. That changes the standings because now if we look, we're going to get the Warriors and the Lakers in the 9-10 game and the Suns. And if the season ended today, the play-in is elite on the West. You're getting Suns Mavericks, which is already a freaking rivalry, on the 7-8 game. And then you're going to give me Warriors Lakers in the 9-10. That's going to be elite. Okay, so we're setting up for a great situation there. All right, let's dive right into today's card. Phoenix Suns are plus 5.5. They're in Boston. They're taking on the Celtics. Total's 226.5. So here are some of my thoughts on this game. So this is a situation where I typically want to fade the home team. It is the Celtics are coming home off a 5-game road trip. You know, I like to fade teams on the first game home. This line has been at 4.5. It's been all the way to 6. And now it's settling in right around 5.5. And I'm going to check the injury report right now. But I like Phoenix here. It's kind of tough though, right? Phoenix is been terrible against the spread, and Boston's been great against the spread. So I look at Phoenix against the spread recently. They're 1-6 against the spread in their last 7, while Boston's 9-2 against the spread in their last 11. Total's gone under in 5 of Boston's last 6 games, and total's gone under in 10 of Phoenix's last 11 games. I guess the question is, did the line move enough? Because the books know these things are going under. Unders are getting hammered on the openers overnight when I'm usually sleeping. Sorry, guys. I think that's a good look here. And I also like the Suns plus 5.5. I'm hoping that gets all the way to 6. I'm going to talk to Tyler before we make these official. So one of my hope is that we're going to get a plus 6 on the Phoenix Suns. I do like them to keep it close here. Some other numbers to keep in mind here when we're looking at these teams. Phoenix is only 13-16 against the spread on the road. Boston 17-15 at home. But they are 6-5 as a road underdog. So a lot of these failures on the road for the Suns have been as favorites. So I think we're getting them a good spot here. Boston covered the first time that they took on Phoenix earlier this year. Refresh the injury report. I see Jaylen Brown, game time decision, and Kristaps Porzingis out. I think Porzingis, so I didn't think that pickup meant that much. But then when that Drew Holiday just shored up the defense, now Porzingis is elite. I think that kind of hurts the team. Jaylen Brown, of course, affects their depth. On the other side, Damian Lee, Josh Okogie out, Eric Gordon, Astaire Little are game time decisions. So we're looking at that starting lineup that we like for the Suns. I know it's rough taking a team that's not been covering lately, but for me, it's Suns or pass here, and it's basically on the strength of the fact that I always want to fade teams on the first game home after these long road trips. So I know, sorry, not a lot of basketball analysis there, but when NBA regular season, we're betting the schedule, and I think this is a great spot here for the Phoenix Suns to go ahead and get out. What was Phoenix's most recent game? They won in Cleveland on, what would that have been, 3 nights ago. First game of the road trip. And they won by 6, depending on where you got the line. Closed at 6.5. So pretty close to expectations there as a team. They lost as 5.5-point dogs to Boston at home. And that was on the 9th. So I guess that would be a reason why people like Boston here. Boston is coming off a 3-game winning streak, and they covered all 3 games. So Boston playing well here. I still like Phoenix, so we'll see where Tyler and I land. I also like the under here. I've got this projected. I didn't actually pump them in, but just because the numbers don't change that much, especially for these two teams because they didn't play last night. Yeah, I'm going to have this projected right around the number. Haven't made a decision here. Right now, Richie, I do think the Suns cover. Right now, to me, it's Suns or pass. Will it make the final card? I want to think about it a little more, but it's just a great spot to catch a team on their first game back from a road trip, and I don't know why that is, but it's just something that exists. The Washington Wizards are plus 7.5, so his Suns and under on the first game is where I'm looking. And like I said, Tyler and I will finalize these later today when we get up, but I'm going to be traveling. So that's why I'm doing the show this morning for you guys. Get the early thoughts, just the stuff I normally do, read out the trends that we like, give you an idea of where my projection's at. Late season awards bets signed collectibles is asking. They're all pretty locked up, man. So let's look. Malik Monk is going to be 6th man of the year, most likely, especially with the Kings pushing into that 6th place spot. I think that really solidified his spot. Most improved got interesting last night, signed collectibles, when Kobe White went down, and that was an ugly play. And I don't think, obviously, Siakam didn't do it on purpose. It was just a bad accident. But he might be out for a while. He was probably the leader there. I don't see any reason why Dajuan won't get Coach of the Year. That one seems locked up. To me, MVP, Jokic has locked it up. It's only like -3. If you get it for -300 or less, I would still bet it or just put it in parlays because I don't see how he doesn't win the MVP. And what's the last one? Clutch Player of the Year seems to be DeMar DeRozan. And that's weird that they haven't won that many games, but that's who's ahead. And that award is only in its 2nd year, so there's not a lot of history for me to jump on there. So to answer your question, no. I guess the only bets I would place right now would be if he had a most improved angle because it looks like Kobe White's going to be out. However, his stats might have solidified him, even if he misses the rest of the season. And I think Jokic, if you can get him for less than -300, is great value because it should be -500. I don't know where your books are at with that right now. The Washington Wizards are plus 7.5. They're in Houston taking on the Rockets. Total 227.5. I told Tyler yesterday, man, I've really struggled handicapping these teams that we just know aren't very good. And hold on, I pulled up the wrong info on this game here. So Washington should be starting See, Washington's tough to play right now because they don't have a center. They're going to start Kyle Kuzma at center again. We tried to back that lineup, I don't know, what was it, 3 or 4 days ago when they were favored in Memphis, and they're just too small. On the other hand, Houston's running a smaller lineup too. We saw Şengün get hurt. That was rough. That was ugly. He's out for the rest of the year. So they're going to run a small lineup of Jabari Smith at center tonight. So maybe the fact that there's no centers on the floor helps the Wizards a bit tonight. Jordan Poole's still coming off the bench. Let's see what time, how many minutes. Yeah, he's still expected to get 28. Kuzma is expected to get 37. I don't know on this one. Let me see where I'm going to project this one at. Rockets by 8. Yeah, I think this number's pretty good. I don't really have a lot going on in this game. We'll see if Tyler can find a player double for him when we talk later. This number seems about right. I mean, boy, if I guess I wanted to be contrarian, I would take Washington. But I don't absolutely love that spot. This Washington team's tough to really get a handle on. How many games in a row have they lost? Oh, wait, no, they got a couple wins in there. But they were coming in off a huge losing streak. Just overall, they haven't been good. Washington is 30-33 against the spread this year. However, they have been better on the road. They're 20-13 on the road. However, Houston's 21-10 at home. So both teams doing well in these particular spots here. Both teams had a day off, and they have yet to play each other this season. I think this game's tough to get involved with. There's no centers. Houston is coming off 3 wins in a row, however. You got to like that. Yeah, they look great in sack, and they were able to get the win against San Antonio without Şengün. However, San Antonio is just not very good. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this game. I'm sorry, guys. If you were just dying to bet it and you want to talk to me about their bet, just DM me and we can talk it through. If you feel like you have an edge, or throw it in the chat right now. Robert says Wizards are just an awful organization, and it's hard to disagree, Robert. It's really hard to disagree. They're finally bottoming out, and they've done that in the year where the draft is not supposed to be that good. And you know what we talked about a draft a little bit yesterday. I was looking into the 2025 draft. That one's supposed to be way better. So for teams that are down this year, you might as well be bad another year. And that's what the Wizards might be doing. So sorry I don't have a lot of insight on that one. But we're going to move on. This game is more interesting. Now, Tyler messaged me last night. He wanted to take the Clippers the second that the game came out. And I can understand why. We saw the Bulls go to overtime. That was a fast-paced game. They lost Kobe White, who's been huge for their pace. For example, DeMar DeRozan is an excellent half-court shooter. I told it yesterday on the show. I'm a DeMar DeRozan enthusiast because I think he's killer in the half-court situations. You know, we talked about Tatum sucking on those mid-ranges. DeMar DeRozan is excellent in the mid-range with the game on the line. Really too bad he's just kind of mired on Robert. I don't know if we consider them an awful organization, but they're not very good. Not very good there in Chicago. Really disappointed. He's 35 now. How much longer can he keep this up? But he's a killer at the end of games. And the reason I told Tyler that I didn't want to bet this last night is because of the status of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Now, the way this line is moved says to me that the books or the people in the know are expecting these two players to play. And if so, you got to think the Clippers would be the right side. Let's take a look at the Clippers on the road, however. I'm going to have this one projected right around the number. But we projected the Magic right around the number yesterday. Oh, guys, could you believe that Magic game? I thought that was an easy cash, and I flipped it over on my 4 screen, and then it barely even say. What does NBA math say today, Robert? Star players out on both sides, 2 times. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The Clippers really sliding down. Let's go ahead and look. They are coming off 2 straight losses. But those losses were to good teams. They failed in Milwaukee, and then they lost to Minnesota. In the Minnesota game, they were winning at halftime, and they lost by 18 when Kawhi went out. Kawhi went out with back stiffness too, so boy, you know how that could be. I'm not sure what to make of them. Chicago, of course, is a team that I do like to back, just not in this spot. Not off the back-to-back coming off an OT. I wish I had numbers for them coming off an OT. The Clippers covered when they hosted Chicago, and I'm assuming that's at a bigger one. Okay, Robert. Robert saying Milwaukee is not on the good team side. Let's do this. We're not going to overreact when a team has a bad road trip in the opposite conference. Okay? So yes, Milwaukee's looked bad recently. But a lot of teams look bad when they're on the opposite conference. Are they a contender, Robert? No. You're right. I don't think they are. I mean, I think they nuke their chances. But I don't think they're as bad as you think they are. I'll put it that way. And I am looking forward to backing them once they get back at home. Are they dropping like a brick? I don't know. I think it really depends. I never really had championship aspirations for this team at all when they made that Dame trade because they lost Holiday and they lost their defensive identity. And now they're just another team that's trying to outscore you, right? They're just like a bigger Indiana Pacers. Okay, but we're going to get back to the Clippers and the Bulls. So I appreciate the chat, guys, because otherwise this will be a 5-minute show. So thank you guys, everybody, for watching the chat. Robert says Holiday will be the difference for the Boston in the playoffs. I completely agree. I mean, honestly, I think that Porzingis trade could have been a disaster, but then when they added Holiday, it just fixed everything. Because the point of attack defense is so good, your rim protection isn't getting tested as much. And when it is, it's in better situations, which makes Porzingis look like a better shot blocker. And we're seeing this year that Holiday's point of attack defense probably made Lopez look a little better. He hasn't looked as good this year. Could be age as well with Brook Lopez. So, all right. On this game, the only way I can look is the Clippers. I think I'm just going to wait. You know who I'm really waiting on, and you guys are going to hate this. I want Harden in there. The team looks pretty bad without Kawhi, too. So, the question is, how much does this line move? For example, if we wait and get the news and it says Harden and Kawhi are both playing, is it go out to 8 and to an unplayable number? I'm not sure. But as of right now, I'm looking at the Clippers. I want to fade the Bulls coming off the back-to-back, just like we faded the Pacers coming off the back-to-back. And we barely made it, but we got it home. So we're looking at the Clippers there, -6. So far, I like the Suns plus 5.5. I like the under 226. I don't have any opinion on the Wizards and the Rockets, and I'm leaning towards the Clippers here. Totals 214? Feels a little low. That feels a little low. I guarantee my projections will have this one over. I'm probably going over in this game. I guess my concern there is Kobe White. Yeah. Robert makes a good point. Kawhi isn't known for playing through pain. And where are they in the standings? I mean, I don't think that they really have to worry. I'm going to look up NBA standings right now. But I don't think they have to worry about falling into the play-in either. So it's not like they need to push. So right now the Clippers are in 4th place. They're 41-23. The 7th place is 38-27. So they have a 3.5 game lead out of the play-in. I think that's all they're concerned about. So you're right, Robert. There's a good chance he sits. Let's wait on this game. But I lean towards the Clippers. I'm a big Bulls guy. I don't think this is a good Bulls spot tonight. But we'll see. We'll see. Because I guess if both those players are out, they didn't look very good without them yesterday. They're already missing Russ. Paul George hasn't been playing well lately. I think he's shooting 37% from the field over his last 19 games. He's getting older too. I wonder what they do. I know they already resigned Kawhi, right? I know Paul George is still a free agent, though. All right. The Philadelphia 76ers are +8. Taking on your favorite team, Robert, the Milwaukee Bucks. Totals 219. However, this is a spot that I do not like, right? It's the first game off the road trip. Yep, it qualifies 4 games in a row. They play Golden State, the Lakers, the Clippers, and that's the only one they won. And then they got smoked by the Kings in their most recent outing, and that was 2 nights ago. So, you know this because of that road trip. The way that I'm looking is Philadelphia. However, can I get there with the team that has not been playing well? Let me pull up how they've been doing against the spread as of late, because off the top of my head, it does not seem very good. I'm right. They're 5-12-1 against the spread in their last 18. Milwaukee, Robert, I know you say they're terrible. 7-3 against the spread in their last 10, right? And we know the 3 of those are the most recent road trip. So I don't think they've been as bad as you say. Total's gone under in 4 Milwaukee's last 6 games against Philadelphia. Milwaukee's won 15-5 in their last 20 at home against Philadelphia. I think we throw those out because this team is so much different without Joel Embiid. Will we have Tyrese Maxey in the lineup tonight? Yes, we will. So, the only thing I hate about this starting lineup is Mo Bamba. Giannis is probable. Pat Bev is probable. Malik Beasley and Marshawn Beauchamp, 50-50. Still no Chris Middleton. Some of these older contracts, man, just kill these teams. I mean, not to go on too much of a rant, but the NBA should have... You should be able to release one player. Like, just buy him out and not count against your salary cap every season. It would make the game so much better. Your guys will still get the bag because I know you guys are so worried about these players getting their money. Even though a lot of them don't deserve it. What has Ben Simmons done to deserve any money? But you guys are very concerned about that. But if you have a Ben Simmons or a Chris Middleton or a Klay Thompson or whoever you want to say is an older vet who you paid for past performance that's not performing, you should say, you know what, Klay? You got $90 million left on your contract. Here's the $90 million, and now you're off the salary cap. The league would be so much more competitive. I really, I'm a pro-union guy for real life, for guys that warehouse workers, truck drivers, right? I'm even though I'm probably on the more conservative side, I'm a pro-union guy. But this basketball union is making the sport terrible. And that's why I just laugh when you guys try to talk about the old game sucks and those guys couldn't play against these guys. Yeah, right. I mean, these guys can't even play 60 games. And then they just get paid for... All right. Milwaukee Bucks are -8. The only way I would look here is the 76ers. This is a tough team to back, however. Like I said, they're 5-12 against the spread in their last games. They have not been good. They just lost by, how much did they lose to? So they had the 2 games in New York. They win 79-73. Great job, Philadelphia. And that scrubs my numbers, too, because now it's just going to tell me to take under. Because now when I'm looking at the last 5, they have what? 80 plus 70, 152-point game in there. So, of course, it's going to tell me to go under. Thanks, Philadelphia. But before that, they lost at home to New Orleans. They lost at home to Memphis. And they lost in Brooklyn. Is this the team we really want to be taking 8 with? Unfortunately, I think that's the way that I'm going to go here. Philadelphia is 17-14 against the spread on the road. 10-14 against the spread as an underdog, and as a road underdog, they're 8-8. Milwaukee only 13-16 as a home favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna jump in on Philly here, most likely. I'll talk to Tyler about it, but that's the way I'm looking right now. It's a tough click though. It's a tough click. I mean, bro, you got to feel strong to click that Philly number. I mean, come on. Taking the 76ers right now. I mean, at least with the Suns, when I click the +5.5, I got Kevin Durant. I got Devin Booker, right? I hate to say it, but Yusuf Nurkic and KD have been playing really well together, right? I like that starting 5. Even Grayson Allen's done well. I think that's a much easier kind of contrarian underdog play today, the Phoenix Suns, than the 76ers. But we're getting an extra 2.5 points to show you why. When I'm looking at this total, guys, I am going to... It's already going to tell me to take an under. I already know, just because of that stupid game. So I'm not even going to tell you what my projections are. Actually, I guess I have it projected a little higher than usual. Wow, I had this game projected to go way over. I guess that one game didn't ruin as much as I thought they did, huh? How have they been doing here? Is that the way I should be approaching this game? Milwaukee's gone over in 2 of their last 5 games. You know what? I think the over completely correlates with the +8. If Philly covers this game, it's probably going over, which is weird because I know that usually we say the less points they are, the more the points matter. I think that's a football thing. In this spot, when games go under, it's usually a blowout, right? Like a 106-79, like Philadelphia's lost to New York. Milwaukee only put it 94 against the Kings. Have you seen the way the Kings play defense? It's not like they don't try. I hate when people say people don't try. It's like they're going against the most elite scorers, and they just don't have the capability to shut them down. Regardless, only putting 94 up against the Kings is tough. All right, looking towards an over here, but overs have been tough to click lately. I like the +8 and the over 219 when the Philadelphia 76ers take on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. This next game should have been the game of the night. Should have been the game that we're all tuning in for. But alas, there's no Luka Doncic. And the Dallas Mavericks are +11. They're in Oklahoma City. They're taking on the Thunder. Total's 235.5. No Luka. Sucks. Oh, technically he's a game time decision, but I don't think he's going to play. This line doesn't think he's going to play. Oklahoma City's fully healthy. The question is, will they beat Dallas by 11? Here's the thing, man. For small sample sizes, Kyrie can take up that Luka scoring. Kyrie's still one of the most elite on-ball scorers that we have. So that's why, like, when De'Aaron Fox can't cover him, I'm not like, oh, he's not trying on defense. No, you just can't cover Kyrie Irving. He's that good. Let's go look at some of that. I don't know. Are Dallas's recent results even going to help me, though? Because they're losing the engine of their offense? All right, let's go ahead and look at what Dallas has been doing as of late. So Dallas is on a 4-game winning streak. Oh, they covered against the Warriors last night. Remember Tyler and I were arguing about that? And it was 8.5. Although when we talked about it, 7.5. But yeah, whatever. And they lost by 10. They almost backdoored it for us. 4 wins in a row for Dallas. So they're definitely playing well. OKC's won 3 of their last 4. However, they only covered 1 of those games. They're coming off the straight-up loss to the Pacers. And I believe we were on OKC there. It seems like a spot we would. We really like the Thunder this year. And why not? They're 39-25 against the spread. They're 22-11 against the spread at home. 29-20 as a favorite. And 19-9 as a home favorite. How have they done? They're 5-4 when they've been laying between 8.5 and 11.5. Dallas is yet to cover a game. There's only 2 in the sample size, though, where they were catching between 8.5 and 11.5. Dallas is one of the best teams against the spread on a back-to-back. 7-3 ATS on a back-to-back. And these teams have split in their earlier meetings. I don't know what to do here. 11's too much, right? It just feels like a stay away. It feels like they priced us out. Is there something else we should look at? Yeah, they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. Dallas 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 against OKC. That they had their number. However, OKC is 1-4 ATS in the last 5. There's trends going both ways here. Total's gone over the last 6 times that these teams have played. Are they faster without Luka in there? They could be. Could get a dud though. Jeez. I'm not playing this game. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not playing anything on it. I really don't know what to make of it. I guess I could look up their totals without Luka in the lineup. Yeah, I don't have a lot on these last 2 games. Let's just knock it out quick. The New York Knicks are -10.5. They're in Portland. They're taking on the Blazers. A total is 205. Another one where I feel like they priced out here. Actually, you know what? If anything, I like Portland more in this game, catching 10.5 at home than I do Dallas catching 11 on the road. New York's only 4-12 ATS in their last 16. Portland's 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. Total's gone over in 4 of their last 6 games. And let's look at this lineup that the Blazers are rolling out there. With Anthony Simons in this game, I'm pretty happy about it. Jeremy Grant is a game time decision. Of course, if I grab the 10, I'd like to have him in there. DeAndre Ayton, talk about another guy, right? Remember what I said earlier? You should be able to get rid of one guy per season. Yeah. I think it would help the players too. You don't think it would be a nice wake-up call for DeAndre Ayton to get cut? All right. On the other side, though, one of the things we don't want to look too much into on this Knicks team is, I know I said they're really bad against the spread recently. Well, OG Anunoby just came back. And Robert, you and I kind of discussed it in the chat yesterday, right, when we talk about star addition. But you know what? You know, it's funny I call it superstar subtraction. You know what I'm really thinking I should call it is high usage player. Because it's just a high usage player. And OG's not a high usage player, which is why I thought he would come back into the lineup seamlessly, and I was correct. So this is a great version of this team. I like it a lot, man. Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, OG, and Hartenstein. It's a good starting 5, man. That's a good starting 5. Portland's got my guys twins starting. Chris Murray. Love to see that. Man, I was so high on Shady Sharp this year. He had an opportunity to just be a great fantasy player. It's too bad that he's hurt. And, of course, no more Malcolm Brogdon for the Blazers, who I was surprised they didn't deal at the deadline. Okay, whatever they're doing. Anyways, if I were to look at this one, I would take the 10.5 with Portland. I know Tyler will probably hate that. So that'll be fun when I get his reaction a little bit later today. I'll tell him to watch the show before we have our phone call. Yeah, New York has won 3 of their last 5 games. They covered 3 of their last 5 games. Of course, they had that ugly loss to Philadelphia. OG's only been back for 1 game, and they were dominant in that game. Held Philadelphia. Their defense has been great. So they held Orlando to 74, and then they held Philadelphia to 79 in each. Now, I know they only scored 73 in one of them they held Philly on, but this has been a good team here. Portland is just covering. They're not doing a lot of winning outright. I wouldn't look at them on the money line at all. Atlanta, they just beat Atlanta last night, and they were dogs. We talked about it. Atlanta sucks without Jalen Johnson. Probably should have taken Portland there. That was a tough one to get involved with. They beat Portland at home. They've also been home for a while. Their last road game was March 4th. I like Portland. I'll take the 10.5. You guys are going to hate that. It's tough. New York did cover when Portland visited New York earlier in the year. All right, so guys, we'll put the final plays up later today after I talk to Tyler. But right now, what I'm looking at is Suns plus 5.5, Clippers -6, 76ers +8, or Blazers plus 10.5. And I'm going to be looking into some of these totals too. I kind of like that Clippers total. 214 seems way too low. There you have it for me, guys. We'll be back at the normal time tomorrow. We'll have 5-Star in Vegas on for some college basketball. And let's see. I'm going to be traveling today. I'm going to have a lot of fun. We're going to relax, recharge. That's what we need to do because this NBA season's a grind, man. You know, all these players take days off. You don't see us taking days off, right? We're out here grinding every day. We got picks up every day. I'm running projections every single day. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Guys, give us that thumbs up. We'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, with 5-Star in Vegas. Nuke the house.